The stream is about to be live here in like 2 seconds. And I think it's almost live. Yeah, now it's live. All right. We can just keep talking. But the thing I wanted to like open this up with was like, have you seen the reviews already for Thunderbolts?
No. Is it really good?
Quote
Oh,
from a lot of people.
okay.
Best film since Endgame.
Oh.
Yeah, that I was not expecting that to be the
For
thing that was.
Thunderbolt?
I was expecting good review. The rumors were like really positive, and I was like, okay, this, maybe we're looking good here. Maybe we actually got something going for us. And then like all the embargoes lifted for reviews yesterday, and they
Yeah.
just started streaming in of guys. We're fucking back. We are so back. And I'm like, whoa, pause. You know the dip we're in. You know, like, people are needing this film to be good. Mince your words. Like, if this is actually going to be good, fine. But, like, don't bullshit us. Like, let us know. And they're like, nope. Trust me. Go see it. I'm like, bet. We're
Yeah.
back. Let's fucking
That's
go. Come on.
interesting. I would honestly not have guessed that that was gonna be that big a movie. But that's cool.
No, so here's where they're comparing it to. They're
Hmm.
saying if you had to, like, in terms of sentimentality, this is like Guardians of the Galaxy in terms of how people are going to fall in love with this ragtag team that you would not expect them to fall in love with otherwise.
Interesting.
If
So Guardians I could see being a good comparison.
Yeah. So if
I could
that's the
see that.
case, oh man, we're cooking. We are cooking.
I could see Guardians being a big one actually. That's a good point.
I'm hoping that's the case. But I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell.
Gosh dang it. I was now I'm looking at the fantasy thing. Is it really just gonna be try to pick as much C9 as you can afford week?
No, I haven't done it yet. I'm filming the pit
Ah,
tomorrow and gonna
okay.
take a look at it. Is it really like it's still the same format?
Yeah, C9 and C9 plays disguised.
Oh god.
Yeah.
I mean the change I would personally make if I had any control over LTA fantasy would be you are only allowed to pick no more than two people on the same team. Or even then, like, I personally, I think I'm fine with
True.
like them with you having multiple people, even more than that on the same team. The scoring system and the way it works, and that you're benefited from just picking the best team, I think is fucking trash.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, it's trash. Like, you should be rewarded for being the standout player on your team just because you go winless. It's like what? I don't see the fun in that personally.
It's it's really hard because I don't like that. Yeah, if you're basically picking a team to win, and then you're also like just picking full lineups of rosters you think are
Because the
good.
point distribution is shit.
Yeah.
Like, realistically,
Yeah.
like, if you pick all C9 players, you should be penalized way more heavily for picking all C9 players.
Yeah.
And you're
Agreed.
not currently. And it's like, I don't know if I like that. Now, to Lunar's point, I've been checking in on Lunar's rosters week over week. He's not picking all people from one team. He's been very diverse and using a lot of South players to his
True.
advantage to maintain his lead. So, like, I don't think looking at like the number one in our league is like part of that point. But like, when there's no complexities to it, what the majority of people are going to do is if you have enough money to buy C9 players, this is going to be the most egregious example this week of people really abusing it. I know Healy's like, oh, that's even shittier because they're using Southern players. Look, we have to accept, at least for now, that Riot made this with the intention of of making sure that you could do both north and south, which I heavily disagree with. You should only be able to use north and only be able to use south if you want, but we don't control that. So it is what it is.
I will say, I've made the realization that
Oh, never mind.
for me personally, maybe this, I know Lunar is an outlier, but I've been climbing the rankings.
Oh
So
God.
I've been getting a lot better. And I'm now to 8. And I did not do too good after week 1, but I've climbed to 8 now. And it is because I've started doing full team rosters. So
Really?
I am the outlier, yes. Last week I just picked 100 Thieves and sent it. This week my roster is literally all Cloud9 and contracts because he was the cheapest player I could find to fit with an all Cloud9 roster and make the budget work.
And who does Shopify play?
Dig. So I was
Oh,
like,
so it's even
that's
more.
the
That's manageable. Fuck.
yeah,
Dude.
that's the best other guy I can pick.
Ugh.
Like everybody else is gonna be doing all this tough stuff. I literally walk in to the fantasy app and I do this. I go, so who plays who? Okay,
That
I'm gonna find a way to make all the best players from the team I think is way better playing a bad team. I'm gonna pick them, and then I'm gonna pick like one guy from the other team who plays bad teams and run with him.
I have fallen to 29th, and I have a whopping market value of 58.1. That's how much money
Oh,
I have to spend.
oh my.
I'm in
Wow.
I'm in trouble. I'm in big, 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 big trouble.
My team worth is $64. I don't
Here's
know if that's good or bad.
here's my question. Why the fuck is why did Sven go down in point value? Okay.
I don't know.
Sven C9 had a 3-0 week, okay? His last week was a
And they played this guys.
21.6 versus an average of 24.8. He went down 1.8 market value when he's
Yeah.
playing against DSG.
I assume it's your best 2 games too, right? Of the best of 3?
It was like your average. Yeah. I'm assuming best 2 game. I have no clue how that will work actually. Round score. I don't know. Maybe it's. I don't know. Maybe you get rewarded for picking a team that will go to 3 games and get you the most amount of points. I don't know.
Yeah, because if that's the case, yeah, my roster's probably buns. But I mean, I don't know what else they expected people to do. This is legitimately the easiest way to do the game. I don't know what else
I don't know.
you
I
want
can't. I
me
can't
to.
afford shit. And now I'm so far behind that like now that we got to the best of 3 portion of this, the people that have enough value that can just pick C9 are fucking golden. Like you've built yourself
True.
a golden road up to this point that now you just get to like bask in the sun of it all.
Yeah. And I mean, you just you build a full team that you think is fine. I mean, I just looked at the roles pretty much and went like this. I went, okay, which role like has the biggest fall off points wise for my areas? And I was like, okay, it looks like, I mean, if I could afford more than Thanatos, I would. But Blabber to contracts wasn't too bad for the money I needed, you know what I mean? And Thanatos to like Thanatos is just gonna be fine. So I don't know what else you would do. But Thanatos is above Sniper, and I can't afford other stuff, so I might as well just go like contracts. Hope he has 2 good games. You know what I mean?
Yep.
There's no reason to like overstress yourself. You just assume he'll have 2 games and move on with life. And if he doesn't, who cares?
I mean, and you guys should be. Well, actually, I don't know who's favored on you versus Dig.
Not the people at home. What do you mean?
That's That's a statement that I wasn't expecting you to make. I thought
That's
you'd be
gonna be
happy
a
as a
real
Shopify
party
fan.
there. I mean, it's gonna be a long one.
I mean,
The
Shopify should be favored.
only other thought you could have with a player this week for good, like, what would it be, value, is like an Umpty, but Umpty's a little too high to grab, like, for my
I'm gonna be
strategy, you
real
know what
with
I
you.
mean?
I don't even know. I mean, TL hasn't signed anybody, so it's not like they have anybody that they can play. But like, I'm at the point where I would like to see somebody other than Umpty try it on this team.
Yeah, me too.
I don't. I TL in their current form, unless Spawn comes in and that belt truly is just magical. The lashings are just like so much pain. It's pleasure at this point. Like maybe that's like their route to coming in. They're all just like BDSM freaks and just going that route. I couldn't tell. I don't know what about his belt
Are they
works.
just a playoff team? Like,
Dude,
because
they
I mean,
dropped the game to
theoretically, they
Latam
didn't
in the
make.
playoffs.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But I just mean, like, when back against the wall, elimination on the line, maybe they do better. But I mean, it didn't work in groups in whatever. But
No,
what was
they
that tournament?
crumbled.
First stand.
Yeah, they crumbled.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. They're just such an enigma. I know spawn stuff is the easy answer, but like, there has to be something else. No, like, that can't be the only thing. Like, it really can't just be one guy shows up and he makes you that much better, because he's still like coaching in some ways. They still have people there. Like, are his in-game adjustments or mid-game adjustments, I guess it would be mid-game,
Mid
mid-series, that
series, yeah.
good? Like,
I don't know.
and if
We shit
so,
the bed
like,
against
I
them in
did not.
finals. Like
Yeah, that's true too. I
I
mean, that's a good point.
we let the nerves overcome us, and it's like I don't. I I think for all of our sanity, okay, we need TL to not win this fucking split. It would be so
Because we
bad.
send one team, right?
Yeah,
It's one from the south,
we
one
send
from
one
north.
fucking team. Okay?
Yeah.
We do not need TL bouncing back that quick again. We need the people
Yeah.
who are reportedly better and like playing well to actually play well throughout the entire postseason and continue to level up when TL assumedly levels up as well.
Well, who is honestly, like, deserving? Do we have a deserving team
Oh,
tier?
okay, so that's my question to you. Is like, granted, we're only through best of ones. We've seen no best of threes, and like,
Yeah.
it's kind of tough to make this predicament. If you had to send a team to MSI right now, who would you send?
After this,
Yeah.
uh,
Would it be C9? Would it be the proverbial number one?
I mean, probably, like, if I want the best opportunity for winning, I guess you would send
Who
FlyQuest
do you want
theoretically.
to see? Like, I don't care about whatever your priority is. Establish your priority and pick that team.
Yeah, I would say, like, if I think they could adapt to what is in front of them and level up on if I wasn't stuttering so bad, goodness. Level up at an international, I would pick FlyQuest, because in my mind, they probably have the best chance of leveling up. I mean, C9 is not bad by any means, and I don't mean to put them down with that. It's just, I don't think there's like much. This is just what I expect from C9.
Yeah.
They are what they are. Like, I don't see them getting much better than what they are. And best of ones aren't really like a thing that makes me sit here, especially best of ones that didn't matter.
Yeah.
I think a lot of teams were kind of checked out, because I think 100 Thieves will get a lot better as we go, because
I agree.
100 Thieves did not practice all mid season in leading up to the best of ones, and I don't blame them for that, because like, cutting the burnout isn't a terrible idea. That would be one way to do it. And also, like, why would you die hard practice for best of ones,
Yeah.
like that don't count. Like it pretty much Con calls it preseason.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. But I mean, that doesn't take away from the fact I'm sure C9 fans are really happy right now, and they should be.
Yeah, they
I
definitely
mean, a
should
win
be.
is a win.
I just want like, and this is like, I guess the right way because I agree with Con's point. I think asking who we want to send to MSI might be a faulty question. The thing that I just want to see more than anything else, I don't want to see teams drop the ball. I don't mind teams leveling up, but I want it to feel like people are leveling up beside them. Like, being honest, even though we've lost to TL every time that we've played them so far this year, barring okay, strike that. We beat them in the original best of 3 back in split 1. Well, we got rocked in the best of 1 after chucking our lead, and then we got rocked in finals as well. I expect us to be able to rock TL in their current form, regardless of how we look at the moment.
Mm.
I don't want to sit here and get crushed by them whenever
Okay.
they're looking arguably worse, like way worse.
Yeah.
Like, I want somebody in this league, whether it's us or somebody else, to level up, knowing that TL is probably going to level up as the split goes on, and fucking continue to beat them.
Yeah.
And I'm fine. I'm
makes
fine with that
sense.
being C9. Sven's looked absolutely fucking incredible. After I've gone back and
Yes.
watched some footage, check the stats of everything, Sven looks absolutely insane. Vulcan, I'm not 100% certain on. Loki is pretty damn good. To his credit, Loki's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Not sold on Blabber. Thanatos is Thanatos. So,
Yeah. I mean, C9 isn't like, if they go to MSI, I'm not gonna be sitting here like mad about it. I think they could do some damage if Loki plays way up. I'm worried about Blabber now. I don't know why. This is the worst I've seen Blabber in his career, probably.
it's funny. SLJ just said in chat, Blabber's also insane this year.
Oh. I don't know. Maybe I'm off. Do you like Blabber this year?
He hasn't been standout in my mind. Like, I haven't seen anything from
like
C9.
Hogwater, I guess.
No, like, okay, put it this way. My thing is that with C9, I think they're a well-oiled team right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any individual player that I look at C9 and being like, they are just, barring Sven, I would say is the only one who is just like Mr. Consistency.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody that I'm seeing from C9 that's just like stand out like so much fucking better than everybody else in their particular role.
Loki has looked crazy.
Loki's look good, but I think like if you're talking about like
mid lane is stacked, and
that's my thing. I think Quid, Quad, and Loki, all three of them are on par with each other for mid lane. And I think if you're gonna give if you're talking about like early MVP candidates, Quid 100% is MVP right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's a doubt in my mind that it's anybody but him, given where 100 Thieves is at, and even in the games when 100 Thieves is losing and behind, who's the guy making the plays? Normally, you would assume it's River in prior times. Now, it's fucking Quid. Quid has been a monster in keeping 100 Thieves to be in the position that they're at right now. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's an MVP, because I know there's always this debate of like, is the MVP like the best player on the best team? To which I would say then Loki, Sven, and Blabber, I think all have pretty integral parts in that conversation. But
yeah, I mean, the only SLJ did say a lot of stuff, so it's hard to really comment back to any of them specifically. I guess the one I do know is he coordinates all their plays. I've read C9 fans write like Sven, Vulcan, and Blabber at this point all somehow coordinate the whole team.
Yeah,
and
I've read that as well.
Yeah, there's so many of them piloting the whole team at this point. I do know, if you watch out Dame streams, well, I'm not going to, so I won't know if Blabber's good, but That probably is true. I'm sure Blabber still does make some great plays. I just mean from what I remember Blabber being in the past, this is probably the weakest he's been in a minute.
I disagree with that
Even
part.
though the team is
That
playing well.
that part I disagree because
Team is playing well
I think he looks
around
better than
him.
he did last year.
Yeah, that's
He was
true. I guess
last year.
that
He
is
was
true.
non-existent.
Yeah, that's true. Because it's like he's in just a weird spot to me. I don't know. I just think he's lost his X factor, if that's fair to say.
That I think is a different conversation, and it's impossible to tell when it's only best of ones. Like I think
Yeah,
that really shows itself
true.
once you get into the series, and we'll start to see where people shine or where they don't. There.
Yeah,
For
and
now,
that'll be a playoff
it's
thing too.
yeah, it's just tough to grade an individual best of ones. Like who's got that adaptability? Who's game over game is gonna? Dude,
I
you're
feel bad.
triggering SLJ, aren't you?
I do love you though, SLG. It's good. Like you're actually helping us carry on the combo though.
Yeah. Otherwise, we'd just be rambling to
Like,
ourselves. Like I like
yeah,
having a counterweight
yeah,
there.
it is good. No, he's right there. He's right. He did get destroyed by JoJo. That is not on Blabber.
Yes,
That's definitely a
you're not
two-way
wrong.
street.
You're
That
not
yeah,
okay.
two-way
Fine,
street.
fine. You're
So I'll
not
give him that. But
fine. Yes.
maybe I just I mean I'll can I word it like this to be fair to Blabber? He could very quickly win me back. Like it wouldn't take much for him to make me go, "Oh, he's still like one of the I would say best like at this point long tenured NA players we have." Like he's been around for a while. He's
Yeah.
still really good. He's on that like level. I know Sven's been around for a while, so Sven would be in that list. Core JJ, obviously. Like he's Blabber's definitely on that list for me of like some of our better long tenured players. He's just currently not like he feels like he's in the decline
Let me ask you this.
of that long career you have.
Sure, I agree. I agree compared to what he was in his prime, where he's winning back to back, year over year MVPs. C9's winning their titles, and he looks dominant. I agree. Who's the best jungler in the LTA right now?
I mean, more than likely inspired.
You still
If
think
I just have
inspired?
to pick one off the dome, I still do. Even when he's struggling right now, I it's because I don't rate these best of ones very high though. Like
Okay, yeah, but that's gonna sway your opinion pretty heavily.
I mean, because I'm thinking back to what I saw in that whole last split, and then when I combine it with what I've seen in this, I I do think Inspired's had some bad moments in these best of ones, but I think FlyQuest is like playing a completely different game. I'm not fully convinced they care too much about these, which I know is like a really lame push off or kind of non-answer, but it doesn't feel like FlyQuest is fully locked in.
Yeah,
It feels
no,
like they're
I agree.
kind of trying things because you can tell they definitely feel like they have problems with their champ pools.
Well, they wouldn't be signing Gakkos if that was the case, or if it wasn't the case.
Yeah,
Like
that's true too.
you are not bringing in another top laner, stating that he is going to help you with your champ pool issue and potential problems that you might have as a team and the champions that are offered. If that's not the case, and the worst part is Bwipo's playing lane incredibly well. I looked at his stats yesterday. Dude, he's crushing lanes overall.
Who?
Bwipo.
Yeah, Buffo is. He's nuts.
But it is
I
notably on
mean,
his champions.
yeah.
And it does kind of pinch FlyQuest into a hole a little bit, where I think, like, I'm curious to see how the season 2 change is affected, because that is notably, when does that happen? Next week? I think it happens in the middle of group stage, regardless.
Really?
Yeah. The only jungler
I
that
know.
Inspired consistently beats is Umpty, and River, sir. Hate to call out my own team, but River is not
415
better
was the last
than
patch.
Inspired. It's definitely,
I'm sure the new ones will drop soon though.
but you have reduced grubs, and I'm curious to see how that impacts things.
Hmm.
With less things, that the game feels more formulaic. Yeah, next week according to Silas. I'm curious to see if Inspire gets unlocked a little bit more.
If
Because
who?
then, if Inspire gets unlocked, because I mean, what's been Inspired's thing
Oh
for the
yeah.
longest period of time? He's the most efficient
Just
jungler in the league,
yeah.
bar none. Dude
Mad
farms like a
efficiency.
fucking beast. And when you take out these timers that he constantly has to give up his own River gapped him last split,
Mm.
brother, we're talking about this split.
Well,
Like,
I understand he did last split, and I know I'm being kind to Inspired, but all Inspired wasn't bad the whole split.
yeah.
I think Inspired still had some good moments, but yes, he did overall get gapped by River.
We're in this weird spot where I'm putting more weight on best of ones currently, and you're putting more weight on best of threes. So like our points are
Yeah,
kind of getting like
and I'm also
mixed
like
up and countered.
ignoring the Inspired being lower than River because of that, because 100 Thieves just such a wild card. I don't think outside of Quid you can't put anybody on their team as a top dog.
I put Ayla in top three supports.
Well, yeah, I just mean like if you said who I think the best jungler is,
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
it's hard to put River there because I don't know how 100 Thieves is gonna play any given day. They're literally any given Sunday down to the core. Like
Yep.
they just are so random. And I like Inspired, I know if I pick him, there's a good chance he just randomly turns it on again.
Yeah.
I mean, you could pick Blabber 2 right now because he's about to play Disguised. So after this week, he will look like the #1 jungler
Yeah.
in the league. I mean, the
Yep.
whole team will.
You can't judge. Well, it's gonna be tough. You can't judge that first week. And Inspired, not only as 100 Thieves, that we could step up and neutralize them. I think this weekend's going to be a really
Yeah.
good test for like the whole Inspire versus River debate. You're going to have a full
Mhm.
best of three fearless. Whoever comes out on top,
Yeah.
it pretty much settles that argument real quick. Real fucking
It's gonna
quick.
be a fun. I'm actually like It's so crazy to go to this good of a format in this groups from what we just had. Like it's kind of nuts how bad the last 3 weeks were to just be given a blessed timeline randomly out of nowhere.
Yep.
It's very confusing. But it's gonna be fun. I hope people come back. Like
I don't
whoever
think they will.
tuned out because of best of ones, because the group side is gonna be fun. I think, especially watching the bad teams have to play like an early elim best of three. I know that sucks for them because whoever loses,
Hey.
like they're just watching so little league. But hopefully, hopefully it's an exciting series. I mean, I do feel so bad though. Can you imagine being a fan of the two teams eliminated this early?
I don't. They're eliminated 1 week early.
Yeah, well, not 1 week early because they're
Yeah.
all playoffs too.
Well, yeah, but like they weren't
Oh,
gonna
but
make
yeah,
playoffs
somebody
in
gets
general.
eliminated
Like
the next week. I see
I
what you
don't
mean.
I don't have pity for
Fair
teams
enough.
that are fucking that bad that you can't even qualify for a 6 out of 8 team playoff. Like
Yeah, that's a whole
you're
month early,
not really though. Think
or
about
a
it.
whole month where you don't get to watch,
They had
where
6 weeks.
you have to just be a
They had 6 weeks of
bystander.
games.
Yeah, that's
And
true. That's
the
true.
old LCS season was what 10 teams, double round robin on 2 days, so 18 games, uh,
Yeah, that's
over
true.
9 weeks. So you have
You're right.
6 now instead of 9, and they would have 7 weeks again. Well, no, it would only be 6 because the bottom two teams don't play the cross promotion thing, do they? Oh no, they do. Do they? No. If you finish last in your group, is it lat? Do they get a cross game for elimination?
I don't
Does
see
1 play
one.
2 and 2 play 1 and then 3 play 4 and 4 play 3? Or is it 1 faces 1 for...
Oh, is that what these last few best of threes are?
Yeah, they do one full thing for like seeding, and then they immediately go in to like a cross. Hold up.
I can look it up.
Okay. last place. Okay, last place third. Okay, so they're guaranteed 4 weeks. So 7 weeks. Yeah, that's more than enough
Okay,
time.
never mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Okay. So yeah, 7 weeks is fine. I don't feel bad. If Disguise can only put together one win over those 7 weeks, no, I don't feel bad for the short amount of time that you have fucking playing games on that front. Now, should you be playing more games over the 7 weeks? Yes, I agree with like that portion of it. But I don't need more than 7 fucking weeks for me to know that like you suck dick. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. Like, suck ass.
Oh,
Correction.
dude. Why is it this difficult to read it all? Blah, 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 blah.
I'm not even joking
So
when I say this, but
split
if 100 Thieves
one.
didn't troll their bot dive against FlyQuest when they played their best of one, they win that game. I'm not so sure about that. I think maybe, but like I think we had other issues that game as well. And we haven't looked good lately. That I'm not sold. Look, until we get our footing back in best of threes, I we can lose to ourselves at any given moment in any game against top teams. And we can go down early for 100 Thieves against bad teams. Like I'm not gonna I like we are the Pittsburgh Steelers of this league, in my opinion. We are the team that can show up and play disguised in one of the most banger close games you'll ever see in your life. And then we can roll up to TL or Cloud9 and give them a run for their money. And you have no fucking clue what to expect from us week in and week out. So that's not mediocrity, though.
Yeah, okay.
It's just
At
like
least
it's being your own mental case.
it is just what we were talking about.
The 4 plays 3, 3 plays 4.
Yeah. They're gonna play Elam matches.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, that could really suck.
I mean, I kind of like that.
Oh
You got to win that.
no, I just mean for if Shopify has to play Lion, please Lion, do not choke this. And Shopify don't choke. Oh man,
I mean,
Shopify,
you
you
guys
better
should be
not lose.
you should be able to finish third. I mean, this first week's going to determine everything for you realistically.
Yeah.
If you beat Dig, then your pathway is set and you end up likely playing Disguised.
If we beat Dig, I can literally tune out
Well,
the rest of our groups. Because I already know what's happening. We're going third and Dig's fourth.
and then you can get to
I
that.
can get back to Pacers basketball, come back for our Elam match. I won't. That's obviously
To be fair, your series against us will probably be close. We will still win, but it will probably be close.
I don't even know, bro. To be honest, we've looked bad. It's been tough.
So okay, GM Paul of Shopify right now. What are you doing?
What with the team? Like who am I cutting?
How I'm not saying you need to cut it. Are you bringing in coaches? Are you changing players? What are you doing to remedy this situation right now?
And I assume this is for split 3. Like I'm trying to fix it.
You can do it right now if you want to. FlyQuest brought in a player right now.
Well, I would let it. I'd have to be scouting. Like I'd have to be actively looking right now. I'd be looking at a replacement for mid. Because why wouldn't you try to get? Assuming I have the money. I mean, that's just gonna have to be an assumption. But I'd be actively looking for a replacement mid, like 100 Thieves did with a Quid, and I just wouldn't care if people think he sucks. I'd be looking for one, and I'd be looking for a replacement top lane for split 3 to see if there is one that I like, and if there isn't, I wouldn't replace Fudge. I would just wait for next year. But I'd be actively scouting this year for next year's or split 3s. I would definitely be looking at like for whole roster change for next year. But I would
whole roster.
I mean, yeah, but split 3, I would hope I could use split 3 with a new mid and a new top to see what I have in contracts and if that helps unlock him. and see what I have in
B-Boy.
what is it?
B-Boy and
Evoy and
Seos.
Seos. Uh, I don't think that bottom lane will ever win you anything important or meaningful. I don't think the mid laner will, and I don't think the top laner will. Even though they have in the past, I don't think that is going to be happening again. And I think contracts still there's a vision there.
Yeah.
I can see contracts doing things that make sense and has a pathway to success. I can't say when I watch the other four I see that. I just don't.
I see it a little bit with Seos. A little bit. Or not Seos, B-Boy. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe B-Void does just need to change the scenery. Or not change scenery, my bad, like a change of team around him. But at this point, like B-Void is what he is. He's been here 2 years, what? And I don't think he's like interesting. Or maybe 3.
I think 2.
But I don't think he's like super string, but who knows? I think I definitely would change. This is so bad because I'm saying all this public, but I would definitely make changes in the coaching room. I'm not a Revan
You
believer,
have
but I know
listed
some
every
are.
single person.
I
Everything
mean,
about
bro,
this org you've been like, I'm just, you know what, maybe I'll change this
no,
and this and this. It's like,
I,
oh well, fuck them
but
all. Just kick them all
I made
out.
some good points though of timings. Like
Sure.
you get rid of top and mid
You
for split, or you see what you
you
have with
laid
the
out a
other roles.
1 year plan of which you got rid of everybody
No, I kept contracts.
as an option, and then
Yeah, if I can get something better.
when set okay. Let's jump forward a little bit. Let's say we're at the end of split 3. Okay,
Okay.
hypothetical world. We're at the end of split 3. You didn't have the money to change things at the time. Like now you're going into the offseason
Okay.
fresh. You keeping anybody?
And we lost, like we
You
continued
finished
our current
exactly.
trajectory.
Your trajectory never changes. It's exactly where it is now.
Yeah, I'm cutting everything. I mean, this is a wash, bro. It's had 2 years. Ain't nothing been good about this. This ain't pretty. You don't keep losers. Like, I don't know how else to tell people that. Like, I mean, maybe it's just my old TSM coming out, but I ain't gonna sit here and like watch a bunch of losers. I'm gonna make changes on as much as I have to. Like,
Con, you shut the fuck up.
the real base answer is taking 100 Thieves roster when they leave. I mean, if I took the 100 Thieves roster, no hate to him, I'd probably not take Sniper, to be honest. I'd go find a different top.
Really?
If I had to take that roster, or I could, right? Theoretically in this world. And I mean, if I could get my grubby fingers on Quid, I'd lock him up all day. But I would try to find a better ADC than FBI. I don't know if you can. I'd be actively looking
Yeah,
from a
I don't.
GM perspective. I think it'd be hard, and I would definitely be looking at it. If I found any top laner I thought was more interesting than Sniper, I would get him in a heartbeat. Like, or at
I
least 2 man. If I can afford 7 man lineup, I would 7 man or 6 man. My bad. I would 6 man Sniper.
I would just like to see a top lane coach for Sniper.
That's
Like
true
I think
too.
he's in it. Look, he's in a sophomore slump. We've seen sophomore slumps from so many pros that end up going on to do incredible things. I think at the baseline, his hands are there. It's just the mental. It's the
Bro,
mental
what
to
is
get.
this point he's trying to make? You don't keep losers. Let's cut Josh Allen, Lamar, and Joe Burrow. None of those are losers.
Yeah, I don't know that point
Those
either.
are those are dudes constantly in playoffs. In the NFL
And
playoffs.
contending in
We're
playoffs.
not we're talking about a league that lets in 6 out of 8 teams. Making the playoffs isn't good enough. Like, I'm sorry. My bad. I guess I need to be more grateful of our fifth and lower finishes. Like, let me just hold hands with everybody, stand around the campfire, and sing about our great victories of fifth place out of an 8-man league. Like, what? I mean, honestly, this we don't keep losers and naming winners shows me you don't know the difference between a loser and a winner. And I hate to say that to you. Like, look around.
I mean, I think the perfect example that you could have used was Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
That I think is like a good example of
that
like somebody that like
that would have been a fair one.
what have they won? Brother, only one team gets out of the AFC each year.
An
Sorry,
AFC championship. Joe Burrow's won an AFC championship.
Joe
You know
Burrow's
who
won an
hasn't
AFC
won that?
championship. Lamar,
Lunar is the Lions fan, right?
I-
You know, hasn't won an AFC championship or an NFC championship. The Lions in a while. Dan Campbell hasn't. That's for sure. But he has won his division. Winning your division in the NFL is pretty stinking hard, in my opinion.
unironically, Lunar is the best person here, picking out winners and losers because picking people that are good for numbers is different than GMing a squad. I will say he's the Packers fan. Never mind. He's got you beat.
He's an LTA South fan, so he's really good about
He's a
picking
Packers
losers.
fan. You gotta at least walk that back a little bit.
What, walk back him not knowing what a winner is?
No, but like the Lions talk.
Oh, the Lions.
I'm down for shitting on the
fans.
Lions when it is appropriate. But I will never kick a Lions fan when they unintentionally don't need to be kicked down.
Oh, I
Packers fan,
Detroit fans
go
are
right
so
ahead.
cocky.
Yeah, dude, there's a billion things we could say about the Packers, and I'm down for it. I am so down.
Well, I mean, they'll probably be cutting Jordan Love soon, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But has multiple LTA titles.
That's South, brother. That's like winning your Big 12
Add
championship.
the end
Congrats.
of that LTA, please. And then remember, let's rewind our brains back to what that very important LTA extra letter you didn't add, what the LTAN did to the LTOS. And let's think about how many games the LTOS literally got destroyed in, and then go, oh man, you know what we need? We need the best of the worst. That's like needing a good center going to, I can't even use that example, that's probably too rude. But going to like Peter Dinklage and being like, hey bro, come on. I need a center for the NBA. Like, that's not how that works, bruh.
Oh,
You don't go get like Brazil ain't win nothing ever, bro.
Not wrong.
All Brazil wins is Brazil. They win their own league. Like, good for them. They enjoy that. But come on.
What
like,
Yeah, no, I need to know off stream after this what example you were gonna use if Peter Dinklage was the one that you went with.
Yeah.
Oh god.
But that's just like crazy talk, bro. To like act like Shopify has winners on the roster. Like, yes, they have dudes who have theoretically won before. Yes, that is a true statement. They have dudes who have won LCS titles or CBLOL titles. But when you look at this roster, they actually have four-fifths of it, right? Have won a title.
Yeah.
I assume B-Boy is the only one who hasn't.
Correct.
So everyone has won a title on that roster. But if you look at that and tell me that is a team of winners, I don't know where you're finding it. I just don't. They were winners.
Put it this way.
They are not winners now.
They don't know how to win a game.
No.
Like, they can be winners in the sense of the historical version of the word for the regions, sure. But, like, in 2025, they don't know how to win a game. Against the top team. Against, like, a competitive team. They do not know how to win a game. And it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
I saw the point earlier about, like, would you replace, like, River with contracts? Don't forget that River's likely retiring at the end of this year. He said, he said it's unofficial and that he could go either way, but, like, it felt like backtracking amongst the point of, like, River's likely done after this year. So
I mean, honestly, contracts over River isn't even that bad of an idea. Like,
it's not.
With contracts with Quid would be really good. I feel like on paper.
I don't know.
Maybe they're both too aggro and it would completely fail. But wouldn't you just go? I mean, you can't just hire a bunch of people.
It's not that
So
they're
you'd have to just run that and see how it goes.
River has next year at most. He's 26 this year. 27 is the mandatory military service. Yeah. So I mean, he's got another year, but I think like this is like, I think I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know if River's gonna get a better chance this year to win one. I'll be honest with you, unless somehow like TL picks him up. But even then, like I don't think TL's gonna pick him up. I think TL goes with somebody else entirely. So
Mhm.
like, I don't know. It's gonna be tough.
I mean,
I'm
you can also just see. I feel like if you watch anything, you can see who's actually like clutch or not or good. Like in the eye test way, but it's not fully just eye test. Like you
yeah
just know some things. And there are certain things we know that like Dig, DSG, uh Lion is actually trying to punch above their weight. So everyone's kind of interested in Lion. But they keep getting beat pretty bad by the good teams, so then we quit thinking about them. But like DSG beats TL, nobody cares. I mean, legitimately, like not in the sense of like not good for you guys. That is good for them.
yeah.
But that doesn't make
They avoided the
DSG.
worst of all time conversation by winning
Yeah.
that one. That
Yeah.
effectively ended it right then and there, which is good.
Yeah. But it's one of those where it's like, do we really think Disguise is starting to put it together? No,
No.
we don't. We've seen what's on their roster. It seems like they're going to need way more time than we'll ever have in 2025. And I look at Dig and I just don't see anything on Dig that makes me sit here and go, these guys are starting to show signs of life to the point where I think they can do it. I just don't see it. I mean, they have some little plays, but I don't think there's anything close enough. And when they play a good team, they just crumble.
Here's a question for you. And it's something that like I've been
Mhm.
trying to think of more because I heard it on Hotline League and I've been hearing it around in general of like, bad players stuck on bad teams with bad management and bad coaching. If we took Diggs' roster and just gave them to Spawn and Team Liquid, like Spawn actually there, how high do you think Dig finishes?
I mean, we saw it happen with G2 Grabs when he went to
BDS?
what was it? Might have been BES. I don't remember where he went, but they did better, but they were still not perfect, you know?
Yeah.
Like and maybe the BDS management, you could say it's not perfect management, but they had the coaching staff, right? And you can take a coaching staff that is truly great. Like you could give Dig, Spawn, and the rest of TL's coaches. I I still think the Dig roster as what it is a fifth at best team. They are not cracking 3-4. If you move, because I'm assuming we're moving the TL roster to Diggs management and
Yes.
coaching.
Yes.
I still think those players with an inferior coach will do more than with great coaching on TL.
Yeah.
And it is the only reason is that they are just not. I mean, they're bottling what Tomo and Isles.
Yeah.
Like that's just not gonna cut it. Surdy is fine, but Surdy definitely needs some time. I think. Well, not time. He needs to adapt more to what he has or what LTA tops do.
Yeah.
But he's still because he doesn't have time. He's a little older of a rookie. But and then like Shaden, I'm not just sitting here going like Shaden's has some moments.
Yeah.
I don't think he's terrible. But yeah, I don't think them with the TL coaching staff really play that much better. I mean, some players just aren't good enough. I don't
No.
know what
I'm
like
just
it is what it is.
it's interesting to me because like I'm just trying to think of like K Corp comes into the LEC is atrocious in their first split. dead last
Mhm.
with the roster that they bring up from academy, okay, or not academy, but from the LFL. They very quickly start making changes to try and find their pieces. And like
Mhm.
eventually like try and get it so when Kalis slots in, it works out well, and luckily for them, it did work out well when he slotted in. Like clearly they had the resources and to want to push things further, like to adapt to change players as they needed to. Should our expectation for what these bottom tier teams be the same?
What,
Because
you
like,
pivot quick?
yeah, like for Disguised, like if this split goes bad, I mean, they should in theory be making changes like right away and be like very vocal about like wanting to contend with North America and like being serious about like putting the resources that they need in to fix it and you know do everything that they need. It's hard to like really, for me, it's hard to explain that other than like you kind of always knew what Kometo was thinking. No,
Yeah.
he was a very public facing owner. Like we knew like when things were going bad, he would be on stream, he'd talk about it, there was public accountability and things going on. Like maybe it's because I just don't watch Disguised content, but is there that same sense with like Disguised, with Dig, with other orgs where it's like even if you don't have the resources, is there that sense of public accountability of like this is the standard we are holding ourselves to? Not just like, oh, we're trying our best this time and like it's not good enough. It's like no, like this is unacceptable. We are going to like make sure that we make changes to make this work. Like
I
who's that
think
person to hold them accountable, I guess?
I don't think they do, to be honest, have anything to hold them accountable on that. And even if they don't have the resources right to blow money mid-season, which would make sense and be totally fine, the fact that some of these teams can't evaluate dudes within like 3 years, some of them, to know if a guy's good enough or not for LCS or LTA level, like your GM needs to be fired if you can't figure that out for some of these dudes. Like I get keeping a guy like Castle for 2 years, right? You want to see if you can surround him with the right people or something, and that would change him. But if your GM in 3 years can't even figure out how to make any player play up to potential in some way, or doesn't have a like crazy dream run at some point, I mean, what are they even trying to do? Like there is no winning happening. It's a sport. Like you should be trying to win. And if your budget, I mean, if your goal is to not win and just be monetarily like, I guess, what is it, break even?
Yeah.
Uh, then whatever. The hire a GM who you think with a break even roster will barely be able to compete and never win anything, and you'll never build fans, and you'll just disappear like all the other orgs who do that. And but if you're actively like trying to compete, you do have to make moves every offseason.
Yeah.
Like you if your whole roster places seventh, there's probably only one guy on there worth keeping. More than likely. Like at the dig roster, when you're looking at the not dig roster, my bad, the DSG roster. You're really telling me when you look at the DSG roster that they need to run it back with F5?
No, I think if DSG does not change their roster, assuming they have this finish, okay, and I know like Toast is funding all this out of his own pocket.
Yeah.
I don't know what they do in terms of guaranteed money versus not, but like surely you have to, if you finish last, you have to change something. You cannot go into
Mhm.
next split with the same pieces, whether it's coaching, whether it's players. Like you got to do something. I get he said that his goal is like to not get relegated. That's a bullshit goal, if we're being honest. Not get
Yeah.
relegated means you're fine with finishing dead last, and you just got to win that promotion tournament. That's it. That's a shit goal, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
who are you replacing these players with if we just keep pushing out 8 to 12 players each and every year? The problem is I'm not in the room. Like I don't know. And like the biggest thing that I look at is like I know it's tough for teams that don't have a budget, but in reality, if you don't have a budget, I don't know what to fucking tell you. You're fucking worthless in general, and there's nothing we can do about it. But like, you got to be able to scout people. You got to be able to find the quids and the Gakgos for FlyQuest, and like all of these players who would be willing to come over and like get their shot on close to minimum salary. Or like the player from NACL that could be the next like APA that can help you win a title. He might not be, the best guy in the league, quote unquote, but like he can get the job done. Like you got to be willing to find these guys, whatever they're picking. Like
Hmm.
it ain't working.
And if you have to go to Europe, like FlyQuest just did, pull a dude from Europe and see if you can, or pull somebody from bottom of LCK or whatever you have to do. But like, I know it's a little late for them to take this mindset because people are like Khan is saying, and it is right now, like where you're gonna find these players. But like a few years ago, we had guys like Five Fire, Value 247, who were infamously the dudes who just never got a chance. Like
Yeah, we kind of
at
burned through
some
them.
point, yeah, like you have to. Those players are gone. You don't have a lot of new guys coming in, and that's kind of on them for not cycling through dudes. Instead, we just kept trying guys like Fake God. Tomo's been around for a while. I mean, Tomio. Like, we ran through a lot of dudes who we just knew would never
Has Tomo
actually
been around
get
for a
any
while?
better.
I don't think he has. No, he's only been here for 2 years. No,
Maybe I'm thinking of him and Tomio and
Tomio.
mixing
Well, I
them
thought
up.
Tomio was also young too.
They're young, but they've been playing like they've tried to play in LTA a lot,
Yeah,
from what I remember. They both Because haven't they both played on Dig at some point?
yeah, I think they both did, if I'm not mistaken. Tomio went pro in 2020. It's been five. Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean
never
it's
mind.
just like
I just wanted to make sure before I like because
yeah, which is fine.
trying to make sure I
I
don't get
I just
foot
mean
and
like
mouth syndrome.
if you don't cycle through players, unfortunately in sport you never find anybody who is at some point better than what you got. And I'm not saying like you really do have to cycle 8 to 12 every year for the whole league, but EU does it. It's not crushing EU.
I
EU
just
mad cycles players.
I just
And honestly, if anything, it slowly makes EU more competitive. But I know nobody counts First Strike as a international final. But if you want to be technical, it was an international final that K-Core made, and it's the first time a non-G2 team has looked good at an international in a long time.
I just don't know. I don't know what you like. How do we problem solve this? Like we're sitting here. Like I get like Khan is doing a good job of playing like the counterpoint, but like I'm trying to solve for how you get these bottom four teams to stop being fucking bottom four without just buying the best players. There's got to be a system and a way to build out of that. If you can't, then we're fucked as an ecosystem.
I mean, you have to get owners who are willing to actually pay up.
You have to pay. I mean, I get that money is a part of it, and you need owners that are willing to pay
Yeah.
that and like invest in the content, and like you are investing in a way in a world where people are not investing right now. I get that, but I feel like there's also got to be that public side to it too. No,
Yeah, and you need, I mean, with who was it? With I mean, if I'm still looking at the Shopify roster, you have what is it? If you did my system right of cutting everybody but contracts right, and what you want a bottom laner, and you need a new bot and a support. Maybe you keep Seos because you feel like you need Seos, and he counts as a another American. So there you go. You keep Seos because you think he's doing fine. For top lane or mid lane, you could go import. Maybe for ADC and mid, you go to import and you find it in a top laner, and you go to like dig and get sturdy or something, and you give him his second year. You see if he can really figure it out with a roster you think is actually trying, and You have contracts as your older guy in NA. If you think that going top lane with Surdy is too easy of a cop out, then that is on you to go through the tier 2 system and find somebody you think in top, mid, or ADC is the best value for that position. You go with them. You put actually good guys you think from value imports in the other two positions and you try it, which I know a lot of teams say they try, but I don't really think they're trying it as hard as they could be. And then you go and get different coaches, like actually different coaches, not the same recycled coaches we have seen in LTA forever who haven't won anything and been on a bottom four roster the whole time
Yeah.
and sit there and say, well, the situation given to me just isn't good enough to win. Like,
I mean, luckily we have some new coaches coming in the form of
yeah,
Golden Glue and Spawn getting their way up. I don't know what other coaches. I'd have to talk to like Cubby and a few others and see like
mhm.
what coaches do we think, what coaches and GMs do we think are not getting shots that should be on these bottom tier teams that are not currently there, because we've seen the difference that Spawn and a good coach can make, and same for Golden Glue for enabling this 100 Thieves roster. Like, there's a world where this 100 Thieves roster of young players just goes in with a coach that doesn't know how to do shit and folds pretty badly.
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, TL had, like, people say it's not realistic to cycle through all these guys. TL went through 3 rookies to find 2 that stuck and won a split. But that's 3 players in 1 year.
yeah. And it worked
They
out.
went that were young rookies and it worked out. Like, you can cycle pretty hard if you want to in a year, and you just have to find that diamond.
Yeah.
I mean, even KC, yeah, cycles really hard. I know LEC has a bigger system, but I just don't see how in, what is it? If you go through uh the South, you go through South America with with Brazil down there, and with NA, you can't find a single rookie that you could try out. And I don't care about their starting age, to be honest. We're just trying to see if they got an it factor. If they're old, but they're good, that's all you need.
Yep.
That's what you got from APA. He was old, and everyone was like, he ain't really a rookie. But then they won 2 splits with him, so who cares?
Yep.
Like, who honestly cares? You're trying to win. You're not trying to say, we won it with the youngest roster. That's not going to change anything. The banner goes up regardless.
It does help if you can win with a young roster, because then you set your franchise up. But it's not necessary if the situation doesn't
Yeah, but if
allow
you're
you
getting
to go
caught
young.
up in it,
Yeah.
if you're getting caught up in trying to be young so hard that you're not winning, you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
Like, which I know people want. They want to be the youngest roster, whatever.
Yeah. Well, so is there anything else that we're missing on like the player team preview for this week front?
Um,
'Cause I want to talk some industry stuff in a minute here.
doubt it. I mean, what? The best series is going to be the first one, for sure.
Which, by the way,
I
thank
think
you,
TL and Line.
thank you to
What?
the LTA gods. Hopefully, there's
Yeah, for putting
hopefully
that
there's
there.
somebody in the fucking scheduling department that thought in the back of their mind, hey, the 100 Thieves fan is hosting a watch party. Why don't we give him the Saturday game? Just
Yeah.
throw him a bone, help him out. If that was a conversation and somebody ends up hearing this in any capacity and can let me know, please do. I'll send you flowers. I'll send you an edible arrangement, and send you a little gift. Thank you. I appreciate it. Uh, am I gonna be able to watch while hosting? Oh yeah, that's fine. During the game, I'm sitting there staring at the screen the entire time. In between games, I'm up talking, moving around, doing all that shit. It actually helps me a lot hosting these events, like when 100 Thieves is playing, because then I have to focus on something else other than just the game. It's great. I'll be at the draft. Oh, that'll be fun. Enjoy the draft. See where Shadur Sanders gets taken, especially with all the press going on around him right now.
I mean, I don't know. There's so much misinformation,
Yeah.
or like they're trying to throw each other off. I don't know where he'll go.
I no, it's I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited for draft day. I think it'll be
Him
fun.
getting his jersey retired though was
That's insane.
crazy,
That's
bro.
that's insane work.
Crazy.
That's wild to
That's
me.
pretty funny to do.
It is.
Like that's another college. I'll say that. That's when you know you're just in the pits of hell of being losers. When a dude has 2 winning seasons and you go, thank God that happens, and you retire his jersey for it. Like, I get Travis Hunter, I guess. He's the best dude they've ever had, and a Heisman. But looking at Sanders and being like, I mean, we had a winning season. That's pretty cool. Like, bro, you ain't built for it.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I gotta grab something real quick.
Oh, even worse, he had 1 winning season. That is gross. Gross work they did over there. Well, dead air. I'm gonna go Google what's happening in the NBA. Oh, the Rockets have a lead. Will they chuck it again? Typically what they do. Cavs win, Celtics win. Well, that's tough. Sad days. Yeah, I remember the UCF one. That was something else.
Wow. One, Coco peed, and I stepped in pee, and that fucking sucked. Two, I was trying to find my Florida Gators national championship shirt that came in the mail, because in chat, who was it? It was Saint, I think, that said his favorite player committed to Florida because we got Xavier from Princeton, and we picked up a insane transfer for our team to help replace the hole that Walter Clayton Jr. Is going to leave in the roster. So I'm happy. It's a
That
good.
is pretty
It is a
awesome.
great time to be a Florida Gator, man.
I won't lie. That is pretty sick. I won't lie.
Dude, we're cooking. Our pro. We got a good thing going in football. Lagway's looking great. Barring the fucking April Fool's joke that I saw somebody tweet out that Lagway was transferring. That pissed me off. Then I remembered it was April Fool's Day. Calmed down a little bit after that. But it was great. But no, I wanted to talk some industry stuff with you after the NYU panel the other day, which was a lot of fun. Got to catch up with Greg, who ran CLG with Madison Square Garden for a long period of time. He came in before those were like, oh, he came in with CLG. He came into CLG. I think he said the Bud Light Ace was the second day working at CLG, or like his first week of working. Remember that Bud Light Ace video where like they came in and announced that like, hey, most of you, if not all, you were probably getting cut. Sponsored by Bud Light. Like,
yeah.
good time. That was like his first week when he was there. So I
Wow.
like that wasn't and he wasn't like he was still learning at that point. So like I remember that was.
Did he even get to watch it before they put it out?
I'm not 100% certain. I didn't ask him any further on that. But he obviously was with CLG through like the good times, and then NRG buys him out. He doesn't go to NRG, he stays with MSG, and then the team goes on to win a roster or win a championship, like the exact roster that he had built, which is just nuts to me. And then Matt, who's part of Dignitas, he's with their partnership and sales team. It was interesting to go through some of the conversations. It's not public in terms of the VOD for anything. Like nobody can watch it. It was just for like all the NYU people that attended there and us. Some things that I won't say in terms of like the conversation was off the record and like off camera. So like there were certain things that were like discussed that were a little bit more in depth than would normally go than an online forum. But it was
Hmm.
just interesting to note like one of the questions was, do we buy like do we think esports was just hype, or is there still something to work with given like the retraction of everything right now? Like, are we past the point where esports can be a thing long term?
Hmm.
I found that interesting and I wanted to know your thoughts.
Like, do I think esports can be a thing long term?
Yeah, in North America specifically. Like like do you think esports is like is the
I
wave
think.
gone? Like was it a temporary hype fad basically that's going away, or is esports here to stay?
Sorry, that's a lot to think about. I think the issue with North American esports is we don't have one that we're actually partial to, which makes it a lot harder than other regions. I think other regions like will get into a game and stick with that game. I think we move on a lot quicker
Yeah.
between games, and that's going to make it a lot harder. I mean, between Valorant, Rivals, CS:GO,
No.
Siege, Call of Duty, like all of those are just first person shooters. I get different mechanics, but all first person shooters that are competing for first person shooter fans. And I don't know if you can have like 5 to 6 different FPS leagues and all of them succeed long term. And I don't think MOBAs here are gonna work long term. I mean, that just seems like it was more than likely a fad. That maybe could be a fad again one day, but I don't know if it would be League of Legends being the fad again. It would maybe be a different game.
Yeah.
But uh it's hard to dispute people on it because some games are still making crazy viewership records in other places, but the North American leagues are like getting crushed. So it's very tough to tell. I mean, esports seems to be growing everywhere, but in a
Yeah.
outside of FPSs. FPSs still get really good new numbers.
Yeah, they're still not
Some of them,
like it's
but
not
they're
like
all
it
being
was.
spread thin. Yeah.
It's not like it was back in 2018.
Yep.
The point that I made is that we know that gaming itself in North America is still more popular than ever. And gaming continues to only grow in terms of its expansive reach when you look at, TV shows, movies, like excluding Arcane. Look at The Witcher, look at The Last of Us. Video games are becoming a branch for people to make other media as well. So I don't think gaming has gone anywhere in North America. Gaming continues to grow and continues to be this incredibly dominant and normalized thing in our society. It's
Mhm.
just esports that has not been able to click for whatever reason.
And there'll be a game in like, I mean, it'll take a while, which is very difficult because of the way tech moves now to wait a long time. But it'll probably take like 30 more years for one of these games to supplant itself as the major esport.
Oh yeah. That's the thing that we
Like,
we all kind of agreed upon is like regardless of where, because we had the debate about Cadril versus like North American teams. And if Cadril came here, would he get people to show up for events? And the reality is, yeah. And like for Worlds next year, would they still be able to sell out the same crowds that they did back in 2022? To which my answer would
mhm,
be, yeah, I still think they can. I still think without a doubt we can still sell out the same crowds. But that's also relying on international competition because you are consolidating down the different league fan bases into one touring event in the United States,
yep.
of which I think there are enough fans for that. Absolutely. But we are just, to your point, fractured a lot. And like we're not big enough to the point where like you can have multiple games go on at the same time and not pull away from each other. Like football doesn't pull away from basketball that much. If anything, different sports are complementary to each other.
Hmm.
But like it's different. And they asked about the New York scene specifically of like where's the esports scene in New York, and I just keep telling them, it's like, look, there are Smash events every fucking week. Every week there are Smash events here in the city. You know what? There's not League events. There ain't shit. There's watch parties that we have, but even then, most people don't show up for them. So
Yeah, I would say a big part too is Americans right now are in a, I would say, a healthy space. It's not even a weird space of going back outside again and getting like really reintegrated with doing like public things. And we have been since COVID, but it's been a slow roll.
yeah,
And it just keeps slowly pushing that way. And I mean, you see it with, I mean, vacations right now too are down and people are freaking out like, "Oh, the average American is done vacationing." And it's like, "No, we all had a lot of money saved up because we were sitting inside for two years pretty much." And this is now like now everything's cool. Like everything was cool to go outside in 2023 and 2024. We all did that. We went and did our stuff and had fun. And now in 2025 you can kind of chill. You can take that time to just go do the stuff around you, enjoy your local area again, keep doing what you've been doing. But some people have been traveled out that I know. I mean, and it's obviously happening because it's statistically happening. And
I wish I could travel. We just ain't got the money
yeah,
for it.
yeah, which is fair too. And like you got to think after the COVID stuff, it was a little easier to travel for some people because of the some of the financial helps we were getting to get through COVID did help with some ability to spend a bit more on
Yeah,
travel. And now that that's all gone and we're pretty much back to where we were pre-COVID, we're back to that. And the same thing happened with esports where that kind of fake boom, I guess, happened that made it look like NA League was kind of holding on, and still in a decent position. And then when everything went back to normal, we realized, oh, we did not capitalize on any of that. That was
yeah.
not good. We are in a lot of trouble. And when that happens, it's like everyone's like, I don't know what to blame. But really, it's just one, I wouldn't say Riot leadership has done the best job in moving NA in a way that responds to a North American audience. But then again, I don't think Riot leadership really has helped any league well at all. I think the leagues
No,
just happen to bail themselves out,
yeah.
the ones that have survived.
I got
And we did not bail ourselves out.
no. I got a interesting follow up question during one of the panels. I think it was Greg was asking about, or was like, we got on like the Cadral point and like the ownerships and like who can help these things, and he said like realistically you really needed like an ownership group that cares and is willing to develop something like great, and like
Hmm.
that is willing to put in the time, the effort, and go like well beyond, and understand that you can start small and grow big if you want to, but also if you have the money to go big, whatever. Some of the people he started naming off, and respect to the person I'm about to say because I've talked to them, uh, obviously in person once or twice as well as like across DMs, and the other person I've been a little bit more vocal on, but he listed like Nate and John Robinson as like two people that did a good job of like building a brand and building all this, and I winced
Hmm.
immediately when that was said, and the speaker caught me wincing, like noticed me doing it, and after Greg got done talking, she follows up with me and is like, you didn't you did not seem happy whenever he mentioned John Robinson and Nate Shot for 100 Thieves, yet you're wearing a 100 Thieves jersey. And I said, okay.
Yeah.
I said, let me proceed this by saying, me, any criticisms I throw at my team, are done out of love because I want to see our organization grow and be the biggest in the world.
Yep.
Because I have almost higher high expectations than they have at this point. Uh, whether that's fair to them or not doesn't matter. But I said,
Yeah.
I can't sit here and tell you that John Robinson and Nate Shot did a phenomenal job at this esports thing. Because what it like look at where we're at now. Like if you go back to 2019, then maybe you can make that argument, sure, but like what has happened over the 7 years that 100 Thieves existed under their control, or 6 years under their control? They brought in hundreds of millions of dollars of venture capital money and pissed through it all. And when things got tough, when they had to make changes, whenever they had to adapt the business and actually make it profitable because they failed in their initial expectations of what they asked for in terms of the money that they got from Drake, from Scooter Braun and others, they ran. John Robinson went to EA and has a job elsewhere. Now that could be the board outing him. Maybe he wanted to stay on for longer than that. I don't know that, but it looked, at least from the outside in, that he was going elsewhere. Nate Shot has publicly said he doesn't enjoy being CEO. Shocker, you had to go through 2 rounds of laying off people from partially your own mistakes in terms of leading the company. And then all of a sudden it's like, I'd rather just take a step back than trying to like help fix the problems and usher into this next big thing. And by no means are people like expected to be in, leadership roles forever. There's stress that comes with that not everybody's designed to be for. Like did they make a brand? Yeah. 100 Thieves is a pretty reputable brand across the industry to a certain extent. Did they make something that like helped push esports forward? No. No, they didn't.
Yeah.
Like there's 2 distinctly different things. And when we're talking about like the impact and good leadership in League of Legends and esports, I would not put their names in there. Because we don't even know if 100 Thieves is going to exist next year in the league space. That to me is not a good sign of ownership when you were gifted the biggest piggy bank you could possibly ask for. And you shouldn't have, the biggest problem lies in the fact that you shouldn't have asked for that much fucking money. You took on too much money too quick, and it fucked you. Because you had no ability to correct the revenue or to offset the venture capital money with revenue.
Yeah. No, that's a fair critique. That's a really fair critique of them. I mean,
I was like, I felt bad.
good clothing brands, not.
I clarified
Yeah,
afterwards,
they
like,
did
guys,
not
again,
change.
just to be clear, like, I'm gonna support 100 Thieves. Like, I want us to win titles and I want us
Yeah.
to be in League of Legends, but I can't sit here and blow smoke up your ass saying that, like, like these are like the founding fathers of like modern esports. It's like, no, not at all.
No. I mean, honestly, who is like the big one? I don't think North America has a real like go out and get them right now org that's really like pushing any boundaries, to be honest.
I think Optic is the only one that I would put in that category.
And they're not really doing it in sports that I think, or esports that.
No, but I think they're doing a good
Like,
job at doing the thing that I want to see
crazy.
from more orgs, which is like
Mhm.
specialize in something and do that thing that you're special at really fucking well. Because like the thing that I have against TL and against C9 and even against 100 Thieves now, is like you're taking all this esports World Cup money and picking up
Yeah.
all these teams. Like 100 Thieves announced, like, by all means, I'm happy to have a TFT roster whenever it comes to like be able to do something with and like watch and have a good time with it, sure. But like, if they don't win at Esports World Cup to be able to like get their money back that they invested, everybody's gonna get cut.
Yep.
And I mean, if you're fine with that, if you're fine with like this rotating pool of players and personalities and things, like fine, go ahead. Like I that to me that doesn't scream like good esports practice long term. You replaced one problem with another and kick the can down the road. What happens when the Saudi money pulls out in 5 years?
And somebody in chat, I'm not reading it right now, so I can't credit them, made a good point about the honestly the biggest and most successful NA orgs
Oh, that's
that
Twitter.
are in NA technically are not
Not American. Yeah.
putting teams in America.
Yeah, it's T1.
So it's like, well, T1 and G2,
Yeah.
like they're probably pushing the biggest boundaries, and neither of them are here.
It was interesting. It was a really interesting panel to talk about the state of things. And I was really happy. Like one thing that made me realize walking out of this was like I'm in I have put myself in the best possible position going forward on that front. It's like we continue to say it, but the future of everything is esports. And I appreciated we'll wrap up on this one. I appreciated a comment made by one of the panelists when we started talking about like the creator economy, because like the questions that were asked to me were like about like the value I bring in terms of like consecration, driving people, trying to drive fandom, passion, etc., like all that stuff. uh I brought up about like orgs needing to sign and kind of act as pseudo talent agencies and like bridge that gap that currently exists where like the players aren't your content creators, but you can make content
Mhm.
creators that help bridge that gap. And they're like, still waiting on the day that 100 Thieves signs you. And I was like, maybe I responded. I said, as long if we exist in a year, let's revisit this conversation.
Yeah,
I tried to make like a joke out of it and play it off, and I was like, that was the moment that made me realize, like, okay, keep pushing down this path that you're going down. At least try to.
I would I would say too, like the most important thing of having those brand ambassadors is also the when I look at any sports team that isn't football, basketball, baseball, what they have that makes them great. I don't know if hockey does local broadcasts as well. I'm sure they do. They have so many games. But the local broadcasts in basketball, when you can get them, because the NBA has been a bunch of idiots and made acquiring local broadcasts really
And
true.
on that note, we say goodbye, everybody. Adios.